Welcome into Giants postgame wrap-up presented by Mercedes-Benz, the official luxury automobile of the New York Football Giants. I'm Madelyn Burke, joined by Giants Super Bowl champion Shaun O'Hara. And Shaun, Giants went out to Washington, got a 23-20 win over the Washington football team. And as we heard from Sterling Shepard, finish was the key word.
Yeah, Madelyn, there's been some wild finishes over the last few weeks, but the Giants did finish this game. It was a huge weekend in the nation's capital for guys named Joe, finishing things the right way. And for the Giants, they finished it at the line of scrimmage offensively as well with 166 yards on the ground. Did a great job there. And then how about the defense? 5 takeaways. They confused Alex Smith. They did a great job taking the football away, and it was a collective effort. 5
takeaways. A couple of them came in a really important time. At the end of the game, Giants leading by 3. Washington was 5 yards out of field goal range, but Alex Smith tosses this interception to Jabril Peppers.
Great job by Jabril Peppers to pluck that ball out of the air. Of course, the pressure applied by Logan Ryan with the blitz off the edge. Great day for Peppers. A lot of big tackles. Started the game off with the fumble recovery on the very first play, and the turnovers continued.
Giants offense takes over. They're not able to convert, but you know what? They punt it. Washington gets the ball back, and a couple plays into that drive, Logan Ryan comes up with a pick that just seals the deal, Shaun.
He's such a smart player, and the Giants did a great job disguising man coverage pre-snap. And Alex Smith, you could see right there, he was confused. He didn't know. What a great week for Logan Ryan. Obviously, the personal issues he went through with his wife, but for him to get that game-clinching interception, it was great play by a really smart and well-respected player.
Giants took the victory formation that way, and we want to hear what those two guys had to say about the victory. This is what they said after the game.
You want to play for a coordinator who wants to put you in a position to make the plays, and that's what Pat believes in me to do, is put me in a position to close the game out. And I feel comfortable being that player. I feel comfortable being in that moment, and that's just earning the respect of my teammates and earning the respect of my hard work. So I don't know it's common for everybody, but it's common for us. So we're coming with all wrinkles every game, and you just got to have the players able to pull it off, and I think we're starting to pull it off better and better every week.
You know, for me, I believe we're going to win every game, you know, no matter what the score is until that final whistle blows. You know, but basically he just challenged us, you know. We know what he expects from us, and we know the standard. And, you know, he challenged us, and we stepped up to the challenge and closed out the game for him. So, you know, that's the type of coach Joe is, man. He's going to get the best out of you one way or another.
Jabril Peppers saying he challenged us, Shaun, of course, referring to head coach Joe Judge, challenging this team to finish this one out, giving kudos to the head coach. What kind of influence have you seen Coach Judge having on this team?
Well, number one, you could tell when a player talks about the head coach that they like him and they really appreciate Joe Judge and everything he has taught them. And you could see here as he gets out there and they gave up a touchdown, and he comes right back, brings the defense together and says, look, we're going to keep everything in front of us. So he's always coaching. It's not so much critical as far as a personal level. It's all about technique, and I think that they appreciate him. How do you not love Jabril Peppers? The guy brings his mouthpiece to the postgame press conference.
He's ready to play.
He's always
even in a
ready to go out there.
Conference.
He's physical. He's athletic. But you could tell the players, they love playing for Joe Judge. They love the fact that he's constantly putting them in great positions, and now that they're executing, they're benefiting from the fruits of their labor.
Yeah, the defense, of course, was huge in this win, the Giants' second win of the season. But the offense, Daniel Jones, another big game against the Washington football team, undefeated against the Washington football team. Daniel Jones 4-0 right here against this opponent. Can we play them every week?
You know, I'm sure Daniel Jones would like that. And, of course, the narrative all week has been, can Daniel Jones take care of the football? He certainly did that. But when you look at this Washington defense, look, they were the #1 ranked pass defense in the league. Obviously, without Landon Collins, I thought Daniel Jones made some phenomenal throws. You know, here's the sack right here where that narrative I was talking about, Madelyn. Everybody's been saying Daniel Jones has a fumbling problem. He has an interception, a turnover problem. But the great job of both hands on the ball and securing that football. And here we see the great throw to Austin Mack up the sideline. That pinpoint accuracy is something that has always been there. So if he cleans it up and eliminates the turnovers, this is the Daniel Jones you get, and this is the wins and the victories that you're going to get.
Yeah, that 50-yard connection downfield to Austin Mack was a huge play of the game. You love to see that. But again, you mentioned no turnovers in this game. And there were some moments, even late in the game, when you thought, oh, you know what, that's a close one. But he took care of the ball.
He did. He did a good job of that, and that's always kind of where you worry. When you see that you have the guy coming off the edge that maybe the quarterback doesn't see, clearly there's some growth there for Daniel.
Growth is what we love to see here at the New York Football Giants organization. All right, we've got a lot more to come here on the program. We're going to hear from head coach Joe Judge. That and more coming up on Giants postgame wrap-up presented by Mercedes-Benz. We will be right back, but first, the Giants app. For the latest game highlights and analysis, download the Giants mobile app on your device's app store. toughest player of the game is driven by the Hess Toy Truck, on sale now at HessToyTruck.com. Toughest player of Week 9, Alfred Morris. 9 attempts, 9 carries, 67 yards, and a 20-yard long run, just trucking through defenders. See what I did there? Toughest player of the game, Alfred Morris, presented by the Hess Toy Truck. You know, I don't know, he got that running game going. The Giants have gotten the running game going recently. Alfred Morris, first of all, played for the Washington football team back when it had another name. This man was on the practice squad just a couple weeks ago. Called up from the practice squad and immediately making an impact on the ground. Yeah,
Madelyn, it's always fun to drive a truck over your former team. So Alfred Morris, he was running hard for a reason, and the yards after contact were huge. How about this scamper down the sideline right here? Look at the way they finished the run right there. Holy cow, the defensive back thrown into the sideline, Wayne Gallman finishing off that drive with a touchdown. Here's what impressed me most about Alfred Morris today, 7.4 yards per carry. That's explosive running right there. Give credit also to the big fellas up front. Shane Lemieux making his second start at left guard, and of course Matt Parrott getting in there as a rotation against the tackles.
Absolutely, and as you mentioned, Wayne Gallman as well, 68 yards on the ground and a touchdown. That touchdown that we saw earlier as well, that offensive line created a hole so wide you could drive a truck through it, and Wayne Gallman was able to just scamper right into the end zone and get those 6.
Yeah, it's been really nice to see Wayne Gallman get north-south. He's a very physical runner. He does a great job always falling forward, and he was a couple of ankle tackles away from breaking some really big runs.
I'm sure we'll see that in coming weeks, of course. All right, head coach Joe Judge had a few thoughts to share after the game. Take a listen.
First off, obviously pleased to come out here with a win. We knew it was going to be a 60-minute game like it was last time. We knew this was an improved team who was going to play very aggressive. They did. They did not disappoint. They gave us everything. We asked our guys to finish and play 60 minutes. I think we saw that down the stretch. We were able to come away with the result we were working for this week. That being said, I'd like to open up any questions.
Otis Livingston, CBS.
Congratulations, Joe, on the victory. After so many close losses, once they cut the lead to 3, what was the vibe on the sideline that you got? Was it, oh no, here we go again, or no, not this time?
No, for us, the whole message was finish. That's the thing you could constantly hear our players saying over and over and over. We talked about that before the game, at halftime, throughout the game on the sideline. We have to finish the game. So, when we took the field, a number of times in that fourth quarter, the message was finish. That's what the players were ready for. We had to respond to whatever came our way. Washington made some plays down the stretch, but we were able to come away with some big turnovers and some key situations. And, you count on getting players like Logan and Blake to make some plays for you down the stretch, and they came through for us.
Large Sports, New York Post.
Hey, Joe.
Hey.
In a game where your team has 5 turnovers, forces 5 turnovers and doesn't do any, and the margin is only 3 points, what does that tell you about what happened in this game, and where would your team have been without those turnovers?
Well, it's a big part of the game, and obviously between penalties and turnovers and mental errors, those are things you have to eliminate to have a chance to win the game. Our team came out here prepared today. We did a good job with turnovers and ball security. We did a good job in terms of eliminating some of the penalties. There's still things we have to get off the map right there and eliminate from how we're playing. We don't want to have anything to take us back within drives. And mental errors, the guys played a pretty clean game. They were very well prepared on all 3 sides of the ball. I'm pleased with some of the things we were able to install for our guys on Saturday. The last call of the game was something Pat was able to put in a walkthrough on Saturday. That we talked Saturday morning. He thought it was something that could help. Obviously, it was. Logan was a featured player on that defense, and he's able to come away with the play pretty much exactly how Pat designed it.
Zach Rosenblatt, NJ.com.
Hey, Joe, I know we obviously have asked you a lot about Daniel Jones and turning the ball over. He didn't turn it over tonight. I know he when he got sacked, he held onto the ball. There was a few occasions where he threw it away instead of trying to force it. Was it encouraging seeing him kind of not make the same mistakes that he had been a lot of this season?
I think Daniel played a really good game today. Thought he distributed the ball across the board. I saw him make a lot of really good decisions when he was in tight kind of conflict in the pocket, throwing the ball away at different times. He was able to run with some good ball security and make sure he got some tough yards for us, and he delivered a lot of good, accurate passes. So I thought Daniel really managed the game and controlled the game, was able to make some plays for us down the stretch. I'm very pleased with how he prepared throughout the week and the results we got from him today.
And then can you just talk about the week that Logan had, between, obviously the thing with his wife and then sealing this win?
I think it's kind of just who Logan is. Logan's a very mentally tough football player. He's a great team leader. There's a lot of things behind the scenes that people don't know or see that Logan really brings to a team. That's something I've seen really evolve throughout his career. First coaching him when he was a younger player, and then having to coach against him when he was on an opposing team, and he beat you, and you know that he's a key catalyst in winning those games. And now being back on a team with him, you can see how his maturity and his age has really helped him settle in to really what his personality is. And Logan's a tremendous leader for us on and off the field, and he brings a lot of versatility on the field. But I'll say the things he went through all the time, we talk a lot to our players about overcoming adversity. This is a guy that overcame adversity on the field this week, made big plays, but really off the field is where it started. And the things that he had away from the building, he never brings it in. He comes on in, you can ask him how it is. He's always going to tell you everything's going great, even though you know it's not. He puts the team first when he's in the building. He's all business, and he always takes time to personally check on his teammates. I couldn't tell you how glad I am to have Logan on this team and how valuable he is to us.
Joe, you really shuffled the offensive line more than you even have previously. Just what was the thought process with that? Was that all predetermined, or was that based on the game, and how did you think it played out?
No, it's like I've said, previous press conferences, Dan, I just want to play everyone at the game right there. So, tackle-wise, we're really 3 for 2 at that spot. Guard-wise, say we're really 2 for 2. Will should be back, sooner than later for us. I plan on being 3 for 2 at those positions as well inside. So we're going to try to play everyone at the game every week, make sure we stay fresh, give everybody experience, keep on improving. I think we have good players at that position. We'll give them a chance to play.
Shaun, as we just heard Coach Judge talking about, he's been shuffling players in and out of that offensive line. You put Matt Pert in there for a little bit. When you've got so many players that are getting game reps and getting experience, it obviously elevates the skill set. But how does that affect the cohesion of the unit when guys are coming in and out?
Yeah, it's definitely a change when you have somebody playing next to you that you're not used to playing with for a lot of snaps. But I think what it's doing is it's building confidence in some of these young players. Matt Pert, we're seeing him play left tackle and play right tackle. And guess what? He's one snap away from being the left tackle for the rest of the season. So you always have to prepare for that. I think it's a smart move. Now all of a sudden you don't want to have to ask a player to come in, and a rookie player at that, to have to come in the fourth quarter in a 2-minute drive, and that's his first snap of the season. So it's very smart. It's very forward thinking. Obviously for Matt Pert to get some reps. And then also I think it helps young players out like Andrew Thomas to see the game from the sideline and to also take your breath and a little pause. Obviously we've seen Shane Lemieux do a great job in a guard, filling in for Will Hernandez. When he comes back, I'm sure they're going to do the same and keep that rotation.
Yeah, Shane Lemieux, 5th-round draft pick, doing a really great job in his rookie duties right there. We've got a lot more coming up on the program. After the break, we'll hear from quarterback Daniel Jones. That and much more to come here on Giants Postgame Wrap-Up presented by Mercedes-Benz. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Today's scoring drive of the game is brought to you by Investors Bank. Get the official New York Giants checking account only from Investors Bank. Visit investorsbank.com/Giants for more details. The drive of the game, we take you late to the second quarter, 2nd and 8. Alfred Morris takes the rock 44 to the 44, a 19-yard gain right there. Then once again, Alfred Morris on the run, an 11-yard gain. The run game really got going in today's win. Then Daniel Jones makes a short pass to C.J. Board, 10-yard pickup, and then right here, 2nd and 9 at the 16. Daniel Jones passes it to Evan Ingram, a 16-yard touchdown to put the Giants up 20-3 heading into the half. 10 plays, 77 yards, taking 4 minutes and 53 seconds off the clock is your Investors Bank scoring drive of the game. Now, to hear from the man who threw that touchdown dime, we'll say, is Daniel Jones. He spoke to the media after the game.
Yeah, I think that's been a focus of mine, and obviously know the importance of, holding on the ball. And, defense did a great job today coming up with 5 turnovers, and on offense, we were able to protect it today, and that was, a big advantage for us. So, those are big plays in the game, and I've got to do a good job holding on the ball.
We talk a lot about when you guys play Dallas and Philly about losing streaks and trying to, do they have your number? The flip side of that is you're 4-0 against Washington. Is there anything to that, Daniel? You have 1 win against Tampa and then 4 against Washington. Why do you play so well and get so much confidence against them?
I don't know. I don't know if it's specific to one team, or I think. Each game is separate from the other, and it's just happened that we've come ready to play against Washington these last 4 times, and have been able to get wins. So we'll look to build off of it, next week going into Philly.
That was Giants quarterback Daniel Jones. He threw for 212 yards and 1 touchdown in today's win. For a closer look at that passing touchdown, I'm going to send it over to John Schmelk and Shaun O'Hara, who are at the monitor.
Thanks a lot, Madelyn and Shaun. We're going to head to the second quarter in the red zone, 2nd and 9 at the 16-yard line. Daniel Jones uses the whole field and his vision to manipulate the defense to find Evan Ingram for a touchdown.
Yeah, great vision, great throw. And in the red zone, when you come away with a touchdown, it's huge. Obviously, pre-snap, that's what the quarterback's looking at, right? And right here, you notice you've got man coverage on both sides of the football right here. And so Daniel Jones is just watching this safety right here, John. And you could see pre-snap, all right, he starts to cheat a little bit. And then as Daniel Jones takes a snap and he sneaks a peek, look, he's cheated to this side of the field, which now makes a lot of room right here for him to fit this throw into Evan Ingram. As you watch the release by Evan Ingram, you can see he does a great job on this press defender. He starts with an outside release and then fights back to the inside, which gives a lot of room for Daniel Jones to sneak this ball in here. Now you can see this pinpoint accuracy from this angle. I mean, look at this throw right here. I mean, that's as good as it gets. Evan Ingram with a great athletic catch, a very accurate throw. And mind you, the sun is shining right there, so it's not as easy as it looks with that blinding light right there.
And Shaun, this play can't happen unless the big boys up front get the job done and protect their quarterback.
Yeah, great point, John. And they do a great job, specifically the tackles. You're going to see Andrew Thomas right here, Cam Fleming. These edge rushers, they wash them by the quarterback. And you can see the pocket right here created by the center and both guards. Daniel Jones has a nice distance between him. Watch him kind of just snuggle up in that pocket a little bit as he unleashes this pass, and that is what enables him to create this accurate throw and this athletic catch.
Washington, one of the best pass rushes in the league. The Giants protect Daniel Jones, a pinpoint pass, a fingertip catch to give the Giants a 20-3 lead heading into halftime. We'll have more analysis of Giants and Washington when we return on Giants postgame wrap-up presented by Mercedes-Benz, the official luxury automobile of the New York Giants. We'll be right back.
The fact that we're getting close in some of these games with top teams in the league right now is one of the reasons why we're not hanging our head, and then also the fact that our division is so open and, everything's right there in front of us still. I think, guys are just not hanging their head down. We still have a lot to fight for.
Welcome back to Giants postgame wrap-up presented by Mercedes-Benz. That was Leonard Williams. He had a sack today, Shaun. His 5th sack of the season, leading the Giants in that category.
Yeah, Leonard's done a great job getting to the quarterback, leads the team in quarterback hits as well. I tell you, he's been downright unblockable at times. You put him one-on-one against a tight end in the run game as well, and he's shocking and shedding left and right.
The Giants' defensive front especially has been doing a good job of consistently getting pressure on quarterbacks this season. Is that fair to say?
They've done it by committee, and here we're seeing one of Leonard Williams' sacks today. As you mentioned, he's got a sack in back-to-back games here, but they're doing a great job, and it's coming from different sides of the field, and they're doing a great job of pressure from the outside, too. We've seen Logan Ryan getting home, Jabril Peppers on blitzes as well, so Darnay Holmes has gotten in on the action as well. So it's not just up front, but Leonard Williams has definitely been a big part of that push up front.
Definitely, and Leonard Williams has spoken about the relationship he's got with those guys, with Dalvin, with Dexter Lawrence, and the fact that that's got to help in that as well. All right, but before or after we wrap up this week's game, the Giants got to win, a division win, and they got another one next week, another division game. They're playing the Philadelphia Eagles, this time at MetLife. Seems like deja vu, Shaun. We just did this, but you know what? Another chance. That was a close loss last time these two teams played. Itching to get back on the field against them?
Yeah, it's always a physical battle against the Birds. And I think when you look at the fact that they just played each other 3 weeks ago, it's very similar to Washington, right? They just played 3 weeks ago, and Philly's also coming off of the bye. But that man right there is a dangerous man. Carson Wentz threw for 359 yards and 2 touchdowns in Week 7 against the Giants. That guy, Dallas Goedert, is going to be playing in this game. He didn't play earlier on, and neither did Zach Ertz, so he's going to be a big factor. And Travis Fulgham has really emerged for them as a threat at the wide receiver position. So that offensive line is going to have to take care of Carson Wentz, but the defense is going to have to get after him. And they've been banged up offensively. They've had a rotation at tackle, rotations at guards. I think Jason Kelce is the only offensive lineman to play in every game this season, but certainly offensively they can score points. And conversely, for this offensive line for the Giants, they're going to have their hands full with Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, and Vinny Curry.
Absolutely, and that was a tough, close loss the Giants had on Thursday Night Football in Philadelphia. How much is that still kind of on the tip of the nose or tip of the tongue for this team?
I'm sure as soon as they turn on that film, Madelyn, they're going to be looking at the end of the game, those back-to-back drives. They were not able to get off the field defensively. I feel like the defense is playing a lot better right now than they were at that point in time. But again, they had a lead at halftime. You got to find a way to close the game out.
And it's like Sterling Shepard said at the beginning of this show, finish. Finish is the key word, and finish is what we're going to do right now. We're wrapping up this show, but thanks for hanging out with us. For Shaun O'Hara, I'm Madelyn Burke. This has been Giants post-game wrap-up. Hang out with us every week on MSG Network's 11:30 Game Day. We'll see you next week.